Hello, and welcome to today's edition of Mama's Got Style, how upgrading your look will elevate your business, get you high-paying clients, and increase the fun factor in your life. I'm Kara Allan, and I'm your host for the day. Today, we're talking with Kim Pothier. Hello, Kim.
Hi, how are you?
I'm awesome. I'm so excited to see you and talk to you today.
So glad to be here.
Yay. So why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about you, who you are, and how you've been conquering hell in high heels.
Well, I am Kimberly Jones Pothier, known all over the social media sites as Real Talk Kim, and I pastor a church right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Travel all over the world every weekend, about 51 weeks out of the year, loving people back to life. And I got 2 sons and 2 bonus sons by my incredible husband, Mark Pothier. And so, yeah, man, life's pretty great.
That is so awesome. Because we met, actually, we were following each other on Twitter, and I didn't know. You told me. It was so weird because we met on Periscope, and then we met in real life, and you're just an awesome person, and I'm so excited about all the things that you're up to in the world. So I just had to have you on.
Oh, thank you. I'm so honored to be with you. I believe in everything you're doing. For sure.
Thank you so much. So tell us, what was the biggest, or maybe even still is, biggest challenge you've had raising 2 boys and then building this awesome business and church and everything that you're doing?
You know, I think that I was so blessed because when God started using me was when I turned 40. And that's when the doors started opening and the travel engagements came. And I started traveling every single weekend. And my boys were already grown.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm blessed in that way. However, they still need mama time.
Yes.
And so I just make sure that I make myself, because when you travel as much as I do, it's easy just to want to like be introverted in your house by the time you get home, packed to go somewhere else. And so I'm just very they both work with me in ministry and in Real Talk Kim ministry, and so I get to see them all the time. But I'm very intentional about spending time with them, letting them know that no matter where I am, they are always my number one priority. And so they know they can call mom at any time. And I'm with them quite a bit. My youngest son, Lincoln, he traveled with me up until probably about 6 months ago. So he was with me all the time.
Yeah.
And started going to college this past year. And so now I have to make time for him. And now I have to remind him, you got a mama. Right. You remember you got a mama?
Yes, Lincoln is such an awesome son of yours. Like, I've met him a couple of times. I haven't met your oldest son, but yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome too. I'm blessed. I really am very blessed.
That's so awesome. So one of the things we connected with off right away was the fact that you have great style. Like, your hair is always on point, your makeup, and even your outfit and everything is put together. So how do you think that style supports a woman in her confidence and her self-worth?
Well, I believe that my whole life, I was raised a preacher's kid. I was raised around church. And so my whole life, I was always I had a perception of what Christian people were supposed to look like. And I could never fit in. And I remember my whole life trying to be like an Ann Taylor, you know, I mean, every little wave that came. Remember those St. John knit suits? And,
oh my God.
I know. I tried. But something happened whenever I was 40 years old. That was a year that was very significant for me because at 36, I started going through a divorce, and it took all those years of unbecoming things that I had become in my life, trying to be loved by people and trying to fit in with people. It took all those 5 years or 4 years to get undone and become and find out who I really was. And I'll never forget, I had a conference every year that I hold that was called Conquering Hell in High Heels. And about 40 years old, I had this conference, and it was such a great success. And I was getting ready for the conference, and it was a big deal because it was my conference, and I always try to brand something. I'm always rebranding or branding myself, and I'm definitely an entrepreneur. And I was trying to think, what are you going to do this year that's going to blow people's minds? Like, what are you going to do, Gil? And I remember I thought, man, this conference called Conquering Hell in High Heels, but I hate heels. Like, I'm tired of my feet hurting all the time. And so my outfits that conference, those 3 days, was I decided I was going to pull out a tutu. 3 different tutus. And so I rocked that all 3 days. I rocked a different tutu, one of my God's Girl shirts or different shirts, and combat boots. And something happened. It was like a freedom, man. It was like absolute freedom. And I started getting branded with the woman that preaches in tutus, a preacher that preaches in tutus. And so, I think that what my style is again, that's fun. I want, when I come into a place, when I go to a woman's conference to minister, it's not just about getting her heart free, but it's letting her find her kid again, that thing, that little girl on the inside, the fun part, because we as women get so caught up in trying to fit that mold of being a mom. We forget who we are. We don't take bubble baths anymore. We don't go shopping anymore for ourselves. I mean, we just get cooking supper. We just get lost. And so I want, when people get around me, that I encourage them to go find out who they really are and to have fun, even if it's only for 72 hours or 24 hours or 48 hours, ever how long you in my presence. I want, by the time you leave, you're like, man, I'm going to be me on purpose. And so that's what I want people to, and I think it's working. I think that I bring some fun everywhere I go, for sure.
It definitely works for you. So, how did you suggesting how a woman would come up with her style if she didn't know what it was? How did you figure out the tutus, or even come up with the tutus? And how would you suggest somebody think about that? What do I do?
You know what? I always have been fun, and I've always, my favorite designers have always been like Betsy Johnson and Izzy, the old lady with the big glasses. What's her name?
I think it's Arpel.
Arpel. It's Arpel. Yeah. And I would normally know it unless I've been asked these questions, and it slips my mind. I love these people that are not afraid. They're just, I've always admired people that walk in with stripes and then throws on this funky polka dotted crazy, and you're like, I don't really know if that goes together, but I like it. You know what I'm saying? I love fashion that makes you look at people and you'll never forget them again, because you're like, man, they were not afraid to step out of a box. And so I think that that's what you got to ask yourself when you're trying to find out who you are. You can't be afraid of people's critiques. You can't be afraid of, on my Facebook lives and on my Periscopes and all the things that I do, Instagram lives, I always got people on there making fun of me. You know what I'm saying? And can you get your glasses any bigger? And I'm like, no, I can't, because I also have glasses that I wear all the time.
Oh my God.
They're always big ones, like big things. Like, you see these glasses coming. So anything that is different. I even have tried to be normal, in the last 5 years. I'll even think I'm going to let my mohawk grow out. Usually I got color in it. And I'm going to let my mohawk grow out. And I start getting this little thing here. And it's really pretty. I actually look better like that. I look better, but this is me.
Yeah.
And I'm just better. I just do better. I just accomplish more. I preach better.
Yeah.
I'm better in life when I'm me. So I think that for anybody looking, what's my style? What makes you feel confident? Yeah. It could be stripes and paisleys. It could be mixing stuff up, wearing a tutu. I don't even know how I thought of a tutu. Yeah. I really don't, except somebody gave me a tutu a long time ago, and I kept looking at that tutu forever thinking, why would somebody give me a tutu? And then one day at the conference, I was like, I'll go rock me a tutu. And that's what I did. And after that, I wore it for about 1.5 years. I wore tutus every time I preach. I don't get to do it much anymore because now I travel so much, and they're just hard to carry. They're hard to travel with. And I travel 3 and 4 events a weekend, and I need 1 suitcase, and tutus take up the whole suitcase.
Yeah.
So now I do more kimonos. So I just kind of shift,
Yeah.
I shift with seasons.
And that happens. That's one of the things that I tell people about. Style isn't like you find it and then it's there forever. It literally should evolve with you.
Always evolving.
Like 6 months ago, you loved tutus, but now it's not practical. Okay, now you shifted to the kimonos because now they still serve the same purpose. They still express who you are, but they're easier to pack. You can roll them up, and they take
right. And you take 5 different kimonos and 2 black sets,
and you're done.
done.
And it works for your purpose, and you still look great, and it's still who you are. And then that's it.
Yep. That's the way it rolls right there. Yeah. And I even, it's so funny because every season I come up with something different. Like last year in July, I remember I bought a kimono and I took it on one of my, like, first time I went to a really large event to preach. There was like 8,000 people there. And I remember thinking, I got to have something extraordinary because there's going to be a lot of bad women in that place. And I'm sorry, but it does matter what you look like. It just does. I respect people that I'm like, wow, you go with your bad self more than I would with somebody that I can't connect with because you over there in an Ann Taylor outfit. I love Ann Taylor, but it's just not me. I like people that are, visionaries. And I had this kimono and it had a black belt to it. And all I did was wrap it around my neck. And now I'm known for these wrapped ties around my neck. So it's like anything that you do that's out of the ordinary, people grab a hold of it. Now I see people all the time wearing, and they'll tag me in and say, my Kim inspiration, real RTK inspiration.
That's so funny. And I have a kimono. I'm going to show it to you too. And I love it. I bought this after I went to Mama Gina, and she was like, buy you something that you feel really like sexy in. And it's like,
oh, I love that.
Painted kimono from, I got it off of Amazon actually, but
that is gorgeous.
And I love it.
And you can throw that on with everything.
Yeah. And just
you can throw it on with a funky shirt. I mean, I'm all about not matching. So that thing will go with everything.
And it comes in all different colors. It's like the most amazing thing, and it feels so awesome on.
And you're kind of short. You're pocket size.
Yeah.
So these kimonos would be real long on you, which is fabulous.
Yep, I'm fun size, TSA size.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I would imagine that. So the next question I have for you is like, what's the 5 go-to things for your style? And I imagine a kimono now is one of your 5 go-to.
Kimonos, the ties around my neck, you will see all the time. My glasses, I have about 50 pair of glasses, and those are very important because I'm known for my glasses. My lip gloss, I carry everywhere I go, and a cute clutch, cute handbag, and shoes. That's 6.
Yeah. And it's not like you have to limit it to 5, but some people have a hard time coming up with that.
Oh no, I know what I gotta have everywhere I
go. Yeah, big earrings for me because short hair, you gotta have the earrings.
And this is the first time I thought somebody on here is gonna be so happy to see that I have 2 matching earrings. Usually I never match earrings.
And that's cool because then that's like your statement thing. So there's nothing that says you have to wear matching earrings. Like
no,
I've seen that where there's really one long earring and one short one, and that's a set.
Yep.
So it's like, however you want to choose to express yourself, it's no problem.
No problem. You just got to be confident in it.
That's so true. That's
because you know what? It's not what you wear; it's how you wear it.
Exactly. It's all about the confidence. Like you can show up as $1 million, but if you feel like 2 cents, it's not. That's going to translate.
It really is.
For sure. So I mean, we talked about you tried to do the Ann Taylor thing, and then you were into the tutus. But how else has your style evolved over time?
I think that I can't even tell you. I couldn't even. I've always been one that makes my own things. Like I always go through different seasons. Like I remember about 7 or 8 years ago, I was going buying all the Harley Davidson shirts, cutting them up and bedazzling the heck out of them. So I've always been involved, even bandanas, putting bedazzles. So it was like one big piece of throw up and diamonds, so it's like I don't know. It's just, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to get out of the box. I'm not afraid to do things differently. Even whenever I was talking about the Ann Taylor phase, I would always rock it differently. So now I'm just way more ostentatious. What's that word? Obnoxious. I'm just way more obnoxious with my style.
But it's all good. I mean,
yeah, I wouldn't change me.
So with all this traveling and taking care of your boys and hanging out with your husband, like what do you do for fun?
Well, for fun, I live in this house that I love so much. It's
Mm,
probably the first house that we've lived in that it's like my safe haven. And I'm in hotels all the time. So
mm,
when I'm home to 2 or 3 days a week that I'm home, I love just hanging out. I paint stuff. I go get thrift store coats and blue jean coats and paint them up and write stuff on them and put them
mm,
on eBay. I'm just a
mm.
anything creative like that. I will have this whole room that I'm in right here changed into a painting room, and I will just make jeans and I'll cut holes and stuff and put shoelaces in them. And so
Mhm.
I think my hobby is creating things, and my other hobby is doing what I get to do, like traveling. And people tell me all
Yeah.
the time, you need a vacation. I'm like, man, loving people back to life around the world is like being on at Punta Cana on the beach. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
just love what I do. And so for fun, I do what I'm doing, man.
Well, and we all wish we could do that, right?
Yeah.
Being paid to just love people back to life.
Come on, man.
Oh, amazing. So do you have any advice, like if, say for entrepreneurs that are building their business, how should they present themselves while they're doing that? Like, should they just show up in their tutu, or like, I guess it, depends on what they're doing, but like, what advice would you give an entrepreneur?
No, I don't think you should show up in your tutu. I was telling my son this, and this is probably some really great advice for somebody out there, that forever, while I was building my empire, and
Mm,
I'm doing it every day, I
right.
had to work at Bloomingdale's for 5 years.
Hmm.
And I just walked out of Bloomingdale's 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was working a full-time retail job that I did not like. I did not like driving the hour to get there and the hour to get home. I did not like having to, every day do the same thing in a building. I'm more of a free bird.
Hmm.
But in that season, I was preparing for what I was praying for.
Yeah.
And so I was telling my son this. My son's an incredible songwriter, a singer, incredible singer.
Mm,
Everybody loves his voice. But the problem is, with millennials, is that they want to jump the gun. Like
yeah.
they don't understand that you got to do what you got to do in order to get your platform. And
Hmm.
then when you get your platform, you can rock a tutu.
Yeah.
But while you're trying to build your platform, you
Right.
need to be conscious of, I can't wear tutus anymore because I'm evolving. You know why?
Yeah.
Because I'm not just doing women conferences anymore. I'm now speaking at all kinds of conferences with men and women, and
Yeah.
these men ain't going to take me seriously standing in a tutu. So what it did was it helped establish me, get me out there. People knew me by that, but they didn't really take me very seriously. So
Yeah.
the more we begin to grow, the more we have to be aware. And I tell my son this all the time. He's a good songwriter, but his music, you have to have acquired taste for it. So I
Mm,
keep telling him, Morgan, get out there, go get you some cover songs.
yeah.
Use somebody's cover music. Let your voice get out there. Let people fall in love with your voice.
Yeah.
Then you can go write your music, and you can get away with anything you want to get away with because you've already established a platform.
Yeah.
So basically, what I would tell people out there that are trying to get somewhere, don't get weary in well doing, for in due season you shall reap. Don't get weary going to that, because the way you're in your season of growth and the place where you feel like, I don't want to get up today, that attitude is going to shine through. You never know who
Yeah.
you're going to meet in Bloomingdale's that is going to be somebody that can put you somewhere, because everywhere in life it is about relationships. It usually takes someone to put your book out on their huge platform of millions of people on social media, and all they had to do was show you one time, put your book out there one time, put your kimono and tag you in it one time, and then all of a sudden you've got this huge base. You gotta keep your attitude right, even in the season that you don't understand, because where you're at is not where you're going to stay. So while you're in this season, keep your eyes open for those people in your life that God is bringing to help you get to where you're going.
Right. And do it with a cheery attitude.
Do it with a cheery attitude, man. Be contagious.
Yeah.
By the time you walk out, make people be like, man, I don't know what that chick was on, but she just made me feel like I can do it. I could
Yeah.
conquer it. Just being in her presence was like better than going and taking a Xanax, man. It's just, they can feel the excitement, the passion,
Yeah.
and people want to be around that. So even if you don't like where you're at right now, fake it, baby.
Yeah.
Until you make it. And you're going to make it. You really will if you keep a good attitude.
Yeah. And save the, the bad, or not the bad, but like the challengingness of what's happening with you for private with someone you can trust.
Don't share it.
Yeah, you can't
be consistent with that good attitude. Yes.
Yeah, that's so true. Well, I know that you are up to so much, and that why don't you share where people can find you and your books and your social media and everywhere that they can find this amazing Real Talk Kim so that you will brighten their day.
Well, I am all over the social media sites, all over. Every site you can think of except Pinterest. I don't pin nothing. I ain't got time to pin nothing. But all the other ones, you can find me at Real Talk Kim, or on my website, realtalkkim.com. Download my free app, which is encouragement all day long. Real Talk Kim. Everywhere, Real Talk Kim. So make sure you follow me, realtalkkim.com. I got 3 books out about working on my 4th that will be out in August the 7th. And my first one's Beautifully Broken, Beautifully Whole, and All Things. And all these books are written for people that hate to read. You know me, I've got like 5 books that I started and I don't ever finish. Now, all my books are created for people that got a little bit of ADHD, and I will keep your attention. You can find all those books and all my clothing. I have a glassware line, RTK glasses. You can find all of that on my website, realtalkkim.com.
Yes, that's so awesome. Thanks so much for sharing. Is there anything else any little nugget of advice you want to give everybody before we conclude?
I just, I would encourage everybody that you're going to go through seasons where you're beating the pavement and you don't understand you got to work that job to pay the bills, but that is not your passion. I would just encourage you that I promise you something. If you can see yourself somewhere long enough, you will start beginning to believe that you're supposed to be there. And it's almost like the law of draw. Keep your attitude right. Know that, and look at it like I always look at it. Even in seasons to this day, when I'm going through things I don't understand, I will literally tell myself this is part of my story. And what you're going through right now is building some passion on the inside of you. And passion is draw. People love it because they can tell when you open your mouth, this chick's been somewhere and she's made it through something. And she gives me a little bit of hope because I know that if she can make it, I can make it. So just begin to get people in your life. Go on YouTube. Watch people that just make your heart kind of do this. Make you feel like you can, because you're in life. Life is hard. You got to make sure that you're keeping people around you that are helping you and encouraging you to build your empire and not eating away at your foundation. So just stay strong, stay positive, and more than anything, man, believe in yourself. And keep going. Even if people don't buy your stuff right at first, you can go on Etsy, eBay. You can go start you a store on Wazula. And if people aren't really buying your stuff, just keep doing it anyway. Like, don't give up after you have been doing it for 2 or 3 months and people are not buying your book. If you keep on, persistence. One day you're going to wake up and you're going to have sold 12 books in a day because you didn't quit.
Yeah.
Keep putting stuff out there. All of a sudden, you're going to keep doing it. And one day, the sky's the limit for you.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. Well, it's always good talking to you. You always lift my spirits a bit. Always something going on. Life's always happening, right? So
I ain't even kidding. And I'm gonna tell you, life will. This is what the enemy does, is he likes to discourage us, and those closest to us don't believe in us. Those closest to us don't support us. Our children are acting all crazy. Our spouse is on their period, and man, you're always gonna have something that's trying to pull you down. You can't pay your bills. You're working like a dog, still can't pay your bills. And this is why you got to do whatever you got to do to keep your spirits up, because it's real easy to fall into that deep, dark place of depression. And depression don't do nothing, honey, for you.
No.
But keep you stuck in a season you're trying to get out of.
Right.
So, yeah, life is going to happen, but what you do with it, man, I literally would turn on some music and I'll be sitting in a store, no lie. My whole staff will tell you, because they get so embarrassed. I'll be in the airport and all of a sudden I'll just be walking and my mind will be going and I'll feel a little bit of heaviness and I'll just I just start doing stupid stuff. Like I'm like, really, my son's like, Mom, you look very special. I don't care. When you start moving, your blood starts going. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden your mind starts getting some oxygen, and
Oh my
you
God.
got to think of some good stuff going on and stop concentrating on the bad stuff, because concentrating on the bad stuff ain't helping you get the good stuff.
No, for sure.
As long as you ain't dead, God ain't done. Get up and keep moving.
Yep, that is so true. Well, I might come over and dance with you if I saw you doing that, because I need
Yeah.
I got some energy with that for sure.
I'm not kidding, man.
Oh my God, your son, I love him. He's just like my son, so yeah.
He's like, oh gosh.
Yep.
And then I'll see his little Snapchats. He'll be like, somebody come get their auntie.
I know, my son will be like, Mom, stop, what are you doing?
But he wouldn't trade me for nothing.
No, it's so true. I think I've heard that children pick their parents. They say this. You know, I don't know how that always goes.
Well, mine has not picked their parent yet.
He will eventually, because he'll have
Their girlfriends are always calm, you know, long, calm hair. I'm like, I thought y'all supposed to be picking your mama.
Yeah, not. But at some point, there'll be a moment where he's like, I wouldn't trade my mother for the world.
Oh, yeah, they are. They both are very proud of me. They really are.
Yeah.
They tell me that all the time.
It's so cool.
Because I used to be bad, man. Ooh, they live with a very tore up mama.
Yeah.
You know, God did a work on me and changed me. He literally changed my entire being.
Yeah.
And I went from depressed, terrible, tore up woman to this change in the world. They're very proud of me.
That's so awesome. Yeah. Well, I love you to pieces.
I love you. Thank you for having me. Bye, everybody. Go after your dreams.
Yes, and we will see you out on your Periscope or Facebook Live or wherever.
Yes, girl.
Running 100 miles an hour.
Yes, I love you.
Love you too.
All right, bye.
Bye.